Hi, I'm John. This is my show, An American Scheme, where I'm proving that Diana Ross is Michael Jackson's actual mother. So I was just trying to make this video and stuff, but then I veered off into the explaining of God and the universe and our existence, the whole thing, right? So it ends up turning into a big old long story and a big thing of explanation, which that's what I'm not trying to do that here. I'm just trying to make a simple point, and a lot of the things I do is I try and condense it into the smallest bit of understanding, and then you crack that as much as you can. You try and focus as much as you can onto a small thing, but you got to be able to recognize these things that are very, very important. And then when you see these things that are very important, then you try and give the best explanation of that small little thing. And that's a big part of what I do, because it's easier to people to grasp and have an understanding of something that's smaller like that. But when you start going on too much, it's like too many thoughts and too much diversity between all the human beings and stuff, and too many interpretations and stuff that are left. So right here, this is a thing. It's Matt made a video called "Could Michael Jackson Have Been a Satanist?" Right? And then he was showing this post. And so what I'm trying to express here deliberately to Matt, is that, look at Matt, you recognized that Michael Jackson deliberately put this pose, that he went into that pose. And because he deliberately went into that pose, it had a representation of a much larger picture. That's what you acknowledged by you're doing this, and you showed the Baphomet, and what that actually is as above, so below. That's what it's supposed to represent. But so you did this. You recognized that this one single image, that this one symbol has a much larger understanding through a lot of connections of their personal beliefs and stuff, right? Which is that's kind of what art is, and the magic and stuff like that. That's what they're doing and stuff, right? So now I'm going to show you the picture that I think is the most powerful picture that I've seen through all of my investigation into Michael Jackson being the son of Diana Ross and everything. The one picture that's the biggest one, it's the most important, and it's just a picture. And I think that actually the picture, it's as powerful as any of the videos and any of the stuff. I think Billie Jean actually, the song Billie Jean itself, I think is the most important thing. But after that, I think this picture, I'm going to show you this picture here, I think this is the most important thing. And now, because like I say, the Billie Jean is so important, this picture was promo. It's a promo photos that they were doing for Motown 25. Okay, so Motown 25 is where Michael Jackson performs Billie Jean, which is not a Motown song. Okay, but so there's so much, and when you actually look at the poster for Motown 25, it's this photo. When you see Michael and Diana, they have Michael and Diana as the big picture, then they have all the other stars around them. But so the Michael and Diana photo that they actually use for the promo photo for Motown 25 is this picture, but they just show their faces. But when you see the whole picture, okay, this is the picture that I say is this is the one that's that's the most powerful. It tells the story. It's like art on a whole other level. But you can only understand it if you understand my story. If my story's true, and then it tells this whole other story about this one picture. This one picture says so much, okay? So understanding the basic concept of my story is that Diana Ross got pregnant at 14 by Smokey Robinson, who was 18, just as Smokey Robinson was developing Motown with Berry Gordy. And they made a choice to abandon the child to the Jackson family so that Smokey could help develop Motown with Berry Gordy, so that Smokey could become a star. They could build Motown Records, and then that lets Diana come into Motown and lets her become a star. Then Michael, because he was given to the Jacksons, this is the bigger thing that was the really crazy part, that Joe builds a band, and Michael comes back to Motown on his own as the Jackson 5. I mean, that story is just wow. It's when you talk about these freak occurrences, it's one of these things that's Smokey Robinson calls the day that he met Berry Gordy, he refers to that as a God day. That's the way he refers to that. He says that was a God day. And then when you look at the bigger context, and because now we can look back upon all of that history, and that's what I'm saying. When Smokey Robinson met Berry Gordy, Smokey Robinson himself refers to that as a God day, because what happened because of that event is that Smokey starts working with Berry Gordy, but that's what gets Diana to like want to get pregnant by Smokey Robinson. It all happened because if Smokey doesn't hook up with Berry Gordy, then Diana's not like trying to get in there and have a baby with Smokey. Like, who's to say that that would have occurred, because things would have transpired differently. Things just would have happened differently. But it's because Smokey met Berry and he starts to actually make a record, then Diana's like getting in there. She's the gold digger. She's Dirty Diana. This is why she's Dirty Diana, and why she's also like, because Diana Ross is Billie Jean, and Michael Jackson will refer to Billie Jeans as groupies and stuff, right? But the actual Billie Jean is Diana Ross, but where she was being a groupie is when it's the Dirty Diana song, when she was being a groupie to Smokey Robinson. That's where she's a groupie, and she waits at backstage doors for those who have prestige. They promise fortune and fame, a life that's so carefree. And that's where she's not just a groupie, she's a gold digger. There's much more understanding of the Dirty Diana, and it's not just a simple groupie thing. That this woman, of what they're talking about, she's also this gold digger, and that's how she gets the name labeled as the boss, Diana Ross the boss, because when she rolls into Motown, she had made this commitment already with Berry Gordy and Smokey. She had abandoned her child and shit. But like I said, all the events occurred because of that first day, that God day, of how Smokey Robinson refers to it as the meeting of Smokey Robinson and Berry Gordy. When that happened, it spawned all of these other events, right? And so this photograph here, which represents Motown 25, and you got to understand that Berry Gordy now, he sees the big picture of Motown 25, that now they're Motown 25, Michael Jackson's on the verge of becoming the biggest star in the world and shit, right? And like I said, that's what they have. This photo is the photo that's representing the poster of Motown 25. And so like Berry Gordy knows the story. Smokey Robinson knows the story. Diana Ross knows the story. Michael Jackson now, he knows the story. And he's going to perform Billie Jean at this Motown 25 performance. But so this photo, now taken into context with the understanding of like all these events that have transpired, okay? And that's what I'm saying, like this photo, it's incredible when you understand the true reality of the whole story. It's not just a photo. It's not just a simple photo of Michael Jackson embracing Diana Ross, because people can make up their own stories and they could say whatever. But now let's look at the photo. The main thing that's the crazy thing is the positioning of the hands. Okay, so Michael has his hand wrapped around Diana Ross's waist. Now Michael was Diana's child and was abandoned by Diana. But Michael now has come back to Diana, and he's got his hand wrapped around her belly. Her belly, where that's where he would have been when she was pregnant with him. Okay? So when Diana was pregnant with Michael, his birth came into existence right there in her belly. And so now Michael was abandoned, but he's returned, and now his hand is over her belly, where she had a nurture. That's where when she gave birth to him, that's where he came from. So his hand, now he's come back and he's got his hand over her belly. Diana has an embrace over Michael's hands as if she's cradling a child. Okay, so Diana gave her baby away, the baby returned, and the baby, now Michael has his arm around her belly. That's where he was born. Diana is embracing Michael's hands as if she's holding a child. This picture tells the story. It tells the story of what occurred. What had occurred, and it's the much bigger, larger understanding that she abandoned her child. And then the child returned, and they're all under the umbrella of Motown, and this is Motown 25. It's like the circle's complete. You know, this photo like tells the whole story. But if you don't understand the story, then you wouldn't see the embrace of Michael's hands there, and understanding that he was abandoned and he is returned to her, and now his hand is over her belly of where he was created from, and she's caressing his hands, and she's caressing it and holding it like her baby, like this is my lost baby right here. That's what's going on. This is symbolism. This is art. This is a representation of their entire life. It tells this whole big story. It's a representation of like the whole thing, just in this one photo. And that's why I try and say, it's like, yeah, like Matt's FTR, you recognize like symbolism that Michael Jackson put his arms in a position because it's connected to symbolism, and that symbolism shows a bigger picture of like what you believe in and your understandings of your life and culture and stuff like that, right? Okay, well, this picture, especially when you understand that this is the photo that's used as the promo photo for Motown 25. This is the one they used because, like I said, when you actually see this photo and you understand the story of what I understand it, you understand that there was just no doubt this photo. This was the powerful one. This was the picture that told the story that was just amazing. And when you look at like art, when you want to understand like art and what it actually represents and the power of explaining so much through just one picture, what it actually can do. That's what art is. This is the world of which Michael Jackson lived in, this world of art and deep explaining of things through different symbols and wordplay and magic and stuff, and the art itself of singing and dancing and shit, right? And it's part of what I say is the song Billie Jean. And remember, the song that he did on Motown 25, that he doesn't just do the song, he puts the dance with it too. And it is, if you want to talk about like most iconic Michael Jackson performances of all time, there's no doubt that the Motown 25 Billie Jean is one of them. You know, if it's not the quintessential performance of his whole career and shit, right? It's definitely one of them. So you've got an artist performing at his highest level, but what's the expression? What is he actually expressing? He's expressing the song Billie Jean. And the people want to give just a simple explanation for it, but you're not acknowledging Michael Jackson as an artist. And if he's an artist, there might be a whole lot more. Just like I said, this picture, you could just say it's one little picture, but when you hear my explanation of it, there's a whole lot more of what it's saying. And that's what I'm saying with the song Billie Jean. The song Billie Jean is art, and it's expressing Michael Jackson's real life experience of being informed by Diana Ross that she was his real mother when he was about 10, 11 years old and living in her house after the Jacksons had signed to Motown and moved to LA. That's what the song Billie Jean's actually about. But Michael can't actually tell you that that's what it is, but he can hint to you like other things, and he can, and like, see, Michael doesn't want to lie, but he can't tell the truth. So if he says, well, Billie Jean's a groupie, well, yeah, Billie Jean is a groupie. It's Diana Ross being a groupie to Smokey Robinson. So he's not lying. But he's not really telling the truth. And then when he can say that we would call these groupies Billie Jeans, like these were these groupies that slept with his brother and the stuff like that, and they would always claiming that they were pregnant with this child. Well, he started calling all of them Billie Jean. And, you know, he's not lying, but he's not telling you the whole story and stuff, right? But everybody just wants to say that that they think they understand it because these things of Michael Jackson, it's like, yeah, but it's just like these pictures. It says something, but it says something else. But people are just looking at Billie Jean like it is only saying one thing. And then first of all, they don't, and since they're only looking at it from that one-sided point of view, that everybody thinks that Michael's saying the kid's not my son. Everybody like simply looks at it that point of view. And I say, no, that's wrong. Because the line, first of all, it starts off with she says. It starts off with she says. And so when it says she says, I am the one, but the kid is not my son, she says the whole line. And that's like, it's just a simple little transition of what I'm saying is that no, she says, and I'm saying that Billie Jean says that whole line. She says, I am the one, but the kid is not my son. I'm saying she says that whole thing because Diana, when she tells Michael Jackson that he's the love child of her and Smokey Robinson, she's saying, you're the one. Like I said, it was the God day, that day when Smokey met Berry, it's like a God day. And so Diana is referring to Michael as the one, not just because like he's the child of her and Smokey, but it's because the events that were spawned because of her getting pregnant, it spawned all these other events to occur. So he's the one, he made all of this stuff happen. It was actually because of her getting pregnant by Smokey that it spawned all kinds of stuff. So he's the one. She says, I'm the one. And that's what she's telling him. You're the one, Michael. You made all this stuff happen. It was because I got pregnant with you. That's what led me to be able to have a career with Berry Gordy and stuff. And all of this stuff. She's telling him, you're the one. And because we abandoned you, you ended up with the Jacksons. Now that's what allowed the Jackson family to become famous. And all of this stuff. You're the one that made all of this stuff happen. She's telling him, you're the one. But the kid is not my son. And the people think Michael's saying that. It's not. That's what she says. She said the whole line to Michael. She says, I'm the one, but the kid is not my son. She says both things. And so everybody thinks that Michael's saying the kid is not my son. So right there, that's where you're wrong. You don't even understand the song because Billie Jean says that whole line. But everybody thinks they understand, and they give a simple understanding and explanation for the song Billie Jean because of that one line. And it's like, well, first of all, your interpretation of that one line is wrong. So any interpretation you have in thinking of the larger understanding of the song is going to be wrong because you have a simple understanding and it's wrong from the basis of who says that line, the kid's not my son. Billie Jean says that. She says, and it starts off, the line starts off with she says, it starts right there. She says this. She says, I'm the one, but the kid is not my son. Just look, and people are like, no, how can you not understand that that's a possibility when the line just starts off? Just look at the first of the line. She says, I am the one, but the kid is not my son. She says that whole line. And it's for people. Michael allowed people to interpret it the way they wanted because and lead them down a path of what they wanted to think because he can't explain it to you because the explanation is like the story I'm telling. He couldn't tell you that story. That would ruin the whole Jacksons thing. It could ruin like so much stuff. He just could never do it. But when you understand the simple understanding of the actual song, when you look at the lyrics and you actually look at the lyrics and you'll see how it lines up perfectly with what I'm saying, that Diana Ross, who's playing Billie Holiday at the time of where Michael's living with her in the early 70s and shit, that's when he's living in her house, and she informs him, just in this smell of sweet perfume, this happens much too soon, she calls me to her room. Billie Jean's not my lover. She's just a girl who says that I'm the one, but the kid is not my son. It's like right there, it says the whole thing. The smell of sweet perfume, here comes Diana Ross with the smell of sweet perfume. This happens much too soon because Michael's like 10 or 11 years old when he's living in Diana Ross's house at the time when they had moved to LA. She calls me to her room. They're living in Diana Ross's house. She's in charge. She's the mother. She's going to go inform. She calls me to her room. That's what this, and then when she calls me to her room, and then she says, she's just a girl. Because at that time, it's not his mother, she's just this girl. It's just Diana Ross, it's just some girl. But she brings him to the room, and what she tells him is, she says, I'm the one. Michael, this is what he's all confused and all messed up. She next thing you know, she's telling me, I'm the one, and she's telling him all this stuff. You're the one, you did all this stuff. But then she also says, but the kid's not my son. She tells him, you're a Jackson officially. You're going to stay a Jackson. You're part of the Jackson family. They raised you. You're going to stay part of their family. And that's the thing about what happens. It says, and it's part where later on the song it says, she says, I am her son, breaking my heart, babe. You know, that's where Michael's heart's broken. This is how he leaves his life where he ends up as an adult feeling like Peter Pan. And that's how do you explain Peter Pan from Michael Jackson's life? There's the explanation of how people, it's like, dude, you guys don't get it. The dude's an artist. He's expressing his internal pains and his feelings and shit, right? And he's felt isolated from these families, and he knows he was an abandoned child, and that's how he's got this connection to the story of Peter Pan, who's the leader of the Lost Boys, all these orphan children. That's what he's going to do. He's going to help the orphan children, like he does in his slurred speech. He's talking about the children with no mothers, that they were abandoned, they were left them off, and it left a psychological degradation. That's what Michael Jackson had to deal with his whole life. Once she says, I'm the one, but the kid is not my son. She embraces Michael Jackson, and she rejects him at the same time. So Michael Jackson was embraced by Diana Ross, but then she's rejected, and now instead of Michael Jackson having a closeness to Diana Ross and feeling connected to his real mother, which is like what this photo shows here, you know, it shows how he's reconnected and stuff, but he's not really reconnected because Michael Jackson has to live under the title of the Jacksons An American Dream. And the one thing, the most provable fact that everybody knows about Michael Jackson is that he's a Jackson. So his whole life, when they're saying, like, you look like your brothers, and everybody's saying all the stuff, oh, the Jackson family, okay, Michael, that didn't cause joy for Michael Jackson. That could not have. Michael Jackson had to live inside with this inner secret, knowing that he's living a lie. His whole life he's living a lie, and everybody's treating him a certain way under the umbrella that he was raised in the Jacksons and what they had accomplished as a Jackson family. But Michael Jackson inside, internally, he has to live with the reality of like this, what this photo is like. No, look at my hands right here. This is my mother. She abandoned me. The fact that I came back here and now I'm able to do this photo, but Michael had to live with that reality. Because then what's Diana? She's marrying other men. She's having other children. You know, she's got her own family. And where's Michael? Michael's left back with Joe Jackson saying, he's a Jackson, you know? He's a Jackson, he's a Jackson. So, and then Michael makes the song, he puts his art out there. And so how can Michael actually appreciate that his fans are his fans, and that he made art and then his fans are enjoying his art, when Michael Jackson knows that he made the song Billie Jean and nobody understood it? How could he have an appreciation for that? It can't. It's got to cause an inner pain to Michael. That's how Michael Jackson ends up the drug addict of what he ended up. It's the real story. And this photo, this one photo, when you understand the context of what is this photo, where does it come from, when you understand the context of Michael being abandoned but coming back to Diana Ross, and then here they are in this embrace at the Motown 25 show where he's going to perform that song Billie Jean. It is like, I'm just like, this is like, you want to talk about powerful photos when you can have the true understanding and see the bigger picture of what it represents. And it's like, this is like art on its finest level. This is high level art that's occurring here. And so all I ask for Michael Jackson fans is to acknowledge Michael Jackson as an artist. And if you acknowledge him as an artist, and they represent symbols that have bigger meaning, like what Matt's FTR was trying to do with his Michael Jackson Satan worship video, when you can just acknowledge that Michael Jackson is an artist and he uses symbols to do connections and represents a larger understanding and bigger meanings and connections to things, then if you understand that, then take that kind of approach to this photo here. And then look at this photo with the story of what I'm telling, and now you can see it. There it is. There's Diana embracing her baby. Like, look at it. There's Diana embracing her baby, her lost child that has returned to her, and now she's embracing. Look at her hands. She's holding her baby.